Hello and welcome everybody back to, I almost said Pokeplay, I'm so used to not doing this, TCG Tuesday, where I play the Pokemon trading card game online and analyze a different deck every episode. It has been so long since I've done a TCG Tuesday episode, and it feels great! There is a new set out, Legendary Treasures, which contains a lot of reprint cards, but it also brings back a lot of cards that have been rotated out of the format. And so this deck is actually a combination of both. From the new cards, we have Meloetta EX, and from a card they're bringing back, that's Seismitoad. There's a new art for it, but I already have 4 of the old ones, so I figure why trade for them when you've already got them? And we are good to go. I started by mulliganing 3 times, didn't have a basic in my hand. This deck does not run that many basics, so my opponent just got 3 extra cards. You'd love to have an N in this situation right away, shuffle your opponent's hand back to 6. I don't. So right away I decide to Skyla, grab any trainer card, I'm gonna grab a Level Ball, grab a Tim Pole, and start getting ready. So the whole object of this deck is to get a whole bunch of Pokemon in play with the attack round. That's your Palpitoad, your Seismitoad, and the new Meloetta, who's the first basic with the round attack. So to start my turn, I just set up Tropical Beach, draw my hand up to 7, and my turn. There are rumors that Tropical Beach will eventually be banned. I honestly don't blame them because it has been an exclusive card that you can only get at Worlds each year, and it is incredibly powerful, so it's not really fair, and especially online, it's really hard to get them. I have extras I plan on raffling off at some point, but other than that, you just can't get beaches unless you're paying somebody for them. It just doesn't really help the economy. So my opponent is running what looks to be just a hodgepodge of a bunch of EX Pokemon. Maybe not the strongest mix in this format, but it's alright, because all I really want to do is display you guys exactly what Round can do. Now, I don't think Round is the best deck in the format by far, but it definitely can knock out EX Pokemon with non-EX Pokemon, which seems to be a recurring theme that a lot of people really like to see. So right away, we have Rare Candy, lets you skip a stage, go right up to Seismitoad, and I start doing some math. I want to knock out this Cobalion in one hit. The main reason is his attack, Righteous Edge, I think, is his first attack. It might not be Righteous Edge. Whatever his first attack is, it discards a special energy off of you. So my double colorless energies would go off right away. I only have 4 of them in the deck, and then I have to power 2 energy at the time. So what I want to do is keep this Seismitoad on the bench and only attack once I'm absolutely sure I can get the knockout. So looking at what I've got, I can attach the active or I can attach again to the bench. Brilliant Voice, if I flip heads, maybe I can get him asleep with another flip. Oh, it is Righteous Edge. I'm right for once. This is the game where I know things. That's why I love TCG Tuesday. I make so many mistakes in the video game playthrough. The trading card game is my zone. I know everything. So it's really nice to be back in a game that I'm actually good at. So right away, I decided to attach the active with my voice attack. I can maybe make him sleep, maybe make him confused. Either way, it just stalls out a turn so that I can get enough rounders in play and enough tools in play where I can just destroy him. By tools in play, I am... Oh, and I got Confusion, which is even better. He's confused. He has to flip if he wants to attack. Tails, it won't work. But I really want to get the tool card Silver Bangle, which allows you to do 30 extra damage to EX Pokemon if you aren't an EX Pokemon. Lo and behold, my opponent's entire setup is just all EX Pokemon. So my goal is to get a huge attack with a bunch of rounders in play and just knock out EXs for 1 energy over and over again. So there are a lot of different types of Pokemon that can use round. I think the Wigglytuff is rotated. I'm not sure if the Wigglytuff is still in it. It used to be a part of this deck. The problem is you had to evolve to Wigglytuff. There's also an Exploud that does 50 damage for each rounder. The problem is it's a 4 energy attack. It's just impossible to accelerate enough. So the Seismitoad is ideal. He does 30 for each rounder in play. I'm going to use Dowsing Machine, discard 2 cards out of my hand to get a trainer card back to my discard pile. I want the Rare Candy, because that gets a Seismitoad in play, and that's another rounder. So right away, yeah, I'm just debating a little bit, but yeah. So I believe I attached the Silver Bangle earlier on last turn. So we have 4 rounders in play. I'm doing 120 plus 30. So I'm at a tough decision. I can either dump my entire hand at the Ultra Ball, requires you to discard 2 cards, get the last rounder and a Meloetta, or I can Colress, draw 8 cards, and hope that I get either a Meloetta or another Ultra Ball. Ultimately, I decided to go for the Colress, and the risk pays off. Right away, I see the Ultra Ball, I feel much better. So with the Ultra Ball, I can discard 2 cards, don't need the extra Tropical Beach, there's already one in play. I can either discard an energy or a switch. I just decided to dump the switch. I'm alright as far as retreating at this point. Boom! Another beautiful Meloetta. You never attack with it, and I don't run the Psychic Energies because attaching 3 is just ludicrous, and also the water can use the bubble attack on Timpole. But with the Silver Bangle, dealing 30 extra damage, and a massive 5 Pokemon with round in play, boom! Perfect 180 damage. I knock out that threat who can discard my special energies, and just like that, 2 prizes, and I'm set to take 2 prizes a turn if he cannot deal with my massive Seismitoad. So, he's got agility. Oh, right away he plays Cedric Juniper. You have to guess the height of a Pokemon. I guess 1 foot, it just seemed right. It's actually 1 foot 4 inches, so I was close. But the card's weird and buggy. It's like he continues his turn while I'm making my guess. It's weird. Cedric Juniper, though, is not a strong supporter card. It's new. Charin automatically lets you draw 3 cards without playing the guessing game. So that sort of reveals to me my opponent doesn't have an optimal deck at all. They're just playing with a lot of EXs and trying to make the most of it. But it's alright. We're just displaying the power of round. It's very possible, even if my opponent did have a bunch of EXs, I could set up well. One thing I just remembered that I totally did not talk about yet, the rules have changed in this game. That's another reason I'm really excited to get back into the game. 2 big rules. One of them, the player going first cannot attack now. So that adds a lot of balance. The player going first normally got complete advantage, but now without being able to attack, it allows the player going first to set up while not being able to get a huge advantage by crippling their opponent. I like that a lot. Also, the card Pokemon Catcher now requires a coin flip to activate, which is a lot better. Normally, Pokemon Catcher, my opponent could scoop up either easy prizes of the Meloettas or knock out my Timpoles early in. But with those 2 rule changes, I am set for these setup decks to come back into the game. So because I dumped another Meloetta, we're going for 210 damage in a single round attack. It is ridiculous. My hand is incredibly big. And despite the fact that I don't have another Silver Bangle, I believe, on the benched Seismitoad, we are just in such a good spot. There's really nothing my opponent can do. Even if, for some reason, they're able to do the attack that could paralyze me, I could just Juniper, dump all this, get a switch, and knock them out. But with what we've got, round is how we do. Round them down. So with 3 rounds, we take 6 prizes, and just like that, really quickly, the game is over. It is absolutely ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun. And so, while this deck might not be the most competitive, it'll be pretty cheap. The Meloetta EXs are not super hard to grab. The Seismitoads are really easy. They're in multiple sets now, but Legendary Treasures is out and is going to add all kinds of new decks to TCG Tuesday. I'm making it my main goal to come back each Tuesday and bring a new deck. I am really excited to just be playing the TCG again, especially with how bad I am at the video games. It just makes me feel back at home. So I will see you guys again Tuesday with a new deck. If there's any decks you've seen floating around Legendary Treasures, let me know in the comments section below, and I will try and build them and test them out next week. See you then.